Hey everybody, it's Editor Tensei here again with a couple announcements at the top of the stream regarding the show and a little bit about the network at large. If you're in the Discord, you probably already know, but in a couple weeks after this episode goes live, I will be leaving Bard Rock Network and therefore no longer be the editor of this show. Kenny will be taking over editing of the show. While he gets acclimated to the new workflow, the show will be going on a brief hiatus. This has been an absolutely fantastic experience for me, so thank you to everybody, and good luck out there.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another rousing edition of Monster Cafe. Sorry. I'm Justin. I will be the host for this, what do we call this? Podcast. And I have interesting things going on currently with my lovely co-stars. Or actually, I'm not even a star. I'm just the guy that sets it up. You guys are actually the stars. So last week we had an issue where we discovered that there was something called a boo hag, and bodies were turning up everywhere. And they followed one of those bodies who had a facial issue to the mayor's place in the city. I believe it's in Town Square. If you guys will recall, in the first episode of this run, the city hall was being painted blue. So, finding out that boo hags do not like the color blue, how would a boo hag go about getting into such a place? By crashing a news van into it. Yes, there were a bunch of reporters and camera people out there, but it doesn't seem to be any more. And this is where we will join our intrepid heroes, as they have gotten through the large hole put there by the van, which is sticking halfway through it. Some have gone through the van, some have gone around. There is a body in the front seat, not in the driver's side, but in the front seat. And we have two wonderful twinses and their mother, and a guy who just happens to be there. So, Daphne, as you are looking around and you see this body, why don't you tell us what is going through Daphne's mind right now?
Daphne is thinking back to episode 318 of the Murder Nation podcast, where there was a EMT back in the 1970s who used to travel from town to town and would crash his vehicle into different buildings and then move on to the next town to crash his vehicle into another building so that he could try to take out as many people as humanly possible. And she shakes her head and she's puts herself back in the situation, and she looks down at the bag of flesh and skin that's completely boneless and just there like a deflated balloon, and she's curious if there's any sort of sign as to where the person who left this body here may have gone, and wants to try to figure that out.
And as you do, why don't you roll a sharp and introduce yourself and your character?
My name is Jim, he, him, and I'll be playing Daphne VanHellmans, who is the serial killer-loving murderista nationeer of the family. My playbook is The Meddling Kid, and I am more than happy to say that I rolled something that... Here we go, there's my window. I rolled a 6. I failed that miserably.
You do see, as there are small traces of blood here and there, the body that is lying crumpled in the front seat, passenger side. It looks like it had impacted. Strangely, it does have its skin still.
Oh, Dale, I think I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah. So, maybe not vomit in a crime scene? I think they frown on that. Miss Destiny, ma'am, what are you doing over there?
Yes? I'm getting ready to deal with this problem, and nothing a little lemongrass essential oil won't fix.
And as you rummage through your pouches to get a little vial of essential oil, why don't you introduce yourself, your character, and what you are doing currently?
Hello, everybody. My name is Ryogla, but you could just call me Ry. My pronouns are she, hers, and I am playing Destiny VanHellmans, who is using the demonic playbook. Her pronouns are also she, hers, and as for what I'm doing, I'm filtering through all my different essential oils, basically picking out my essential oil for the episode. This episode brought to you by lemongrass.
I mean, that might help with the smell, but, I mean, you're standing in blood and there's, like, a hole in... should I go get the sheriff?
No, Dale, if you go and get the sheriff, then how are we going to be able to solve this case? And how are we going to be able to, you and I launch the podcast, and then we're going to be stuck here in this godforsaken town where Dad left us, and Daphne storms away.
I mean, he's the sheriff. He does this for a living. I mean, there's got to be some sort of, like, I don't know, training involved.
I think this is a little out of his jurisdiction now. Leave it to the VanHellmans family. We got this.
As he turns around and sees a ferret leap up and scurry up the clothes of the twin to Daphne, he's like, Moss, surely you understand we need to get somebody that has more experience in this?
I won't deny that we probably would need the firepower, but I don't think that he's able to take care of, she gestures to the mess, all of this.
And describe your character, introduce yourself, all that good stuff.
Well, hello, my name is Rain, my pronouns are they, them, and I will be playing Daisy, who also goes by Moss, VanHellmans. My playbook is a custom one. It is the Wiccan. I think right now, while talking to Dale, Daisy, who currently is absolutely stained with various shades of blue from the various blue powders, blue inks, blue dyes that she snagged. Oh, her pronouns are also she, her, and they, them. She is currently absolutely covered. Her hands are covered. She has also marked everybody with a band around their wrist of smeared blue dye. She's also taking the moment to kind of rub a ring around her neck just below where her choker collar is, just for precaution. She isn't entirely sure how best to go about this, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And she's also going to dab just a spot right on Ringworm, her loyal ferret's forehead.
I don't think it can... Okay, yeah, I still think we should, let somebody more experienced deal with this.
Who else? There isn't really anybody else we can go to about this.
Daphne comes back into the back of the van. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Mom, do you have Grandpa's phone number?
Yes, of course I have your grandfather's phone number. Let me get it real fast. And she just, flips out her phone and starts going through her contacts. Not long later, she finds it and it's like, what do you plan on saying to him?
He always used to tell us that we needed to be prepared for any situation that we came across. And he had a whole list. He was one of those doomsday preppers, had a whole list of things that we needed to do in the event of these troubling situations. And I just need to talk to an adult right now.
I mean, we have the book that he used to read to us, but that's back over in the planter van.
Your father did always have lots of weaponry available, seeing as he worked for the FBI.
That doesn't explain the mall katanas, Mom.
I've got a knife in my boot if worse comes to worse.
Let's just say I've learned a few things over the years by spending time with your father. After all, he didn't exactly hide his professional gear from me all that well. Every so often, I went down into the basement of the house, and he was down there polishing his guns, aiming at the wall, seeing if he was going to...
Wait, so when he told us not to come down to the basement because he was busy polishing his gun, he was actually... Oh, God, thank God.
Yes, he was being literal.
Can I go back and look in the car that Dale stole and see if there's anything in there that would be able to help us?
I didn't steal it. I mean, she was going to drive it away, and...
You picked the keys up off the ground, and I understand we needed a way to chase after, and it was very resourceful, and I'm very proud of you, and I really appreciate your help.
Finders keepers.
Well, I was just going to bring it to her.
I don't think she's alive anymore. I'm just going to be honest.
It was very brave of you to put your fingerprints all over the steering wheel of that car, Dale. I just want to let you know that.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's okay. My hair is everywhere in the back seat.
Do you normally just lose a lot of hair?
You did get thrown around a lot.
Yeah, you obviously have never lived with a bunch of women. It's like literally like having 3 dogs.
I mean, it's just my uncle and me, but okay.
All right. What was in the car that we can use to our advantage?
Anybody want to investigate?
I'm gonna mark a luck for that, because I otherwise rolled a 4, and I kind of want to get my luck up anyway, because it's good for my book. That's a 12!
So, as you run over to the car and you begin to rummage through it, there's old hamburger wrappers, there's just receipts from different things. So many coffee cups in the back floorboard. The person who owned the car, obviously they are the type that will get around eventually to cleaning, but just not today. And they are very much probably medical staff. You see like a lanyard with credentials hanging from it. In the glove compartment, you see the owner's manual and so many napkins.
Am I supposed to use these to, like, create a fire or something, or...?
What color are the napkins?
Oh, they're the standard brownish tan.
Ah, yes, just taken straight from the local fast food restaurant, who doesn't bother to even color their napkins white.
I mean, we have plenty of napkins like those back in the car, Mom.
You know what else we have back in the car? We have grow lights back in the car. You know what color grow lights tend to be?
Blue UV.
Dale, sweetie.
You know what we also have back in the planter car? A can of butane gas, which burns blue.
I'm sorry, I grabbed as much as blue as I could.
I mean, are we just gonna set fire to the... it seems like a bad idea to me to set fire to the town hall.
Dan, Dale, I'm gonna go inside. You go back and get the grow lights, the butane torch, anything you can. Take the car back and bring it back here. Do you think you can do that for me?
This is what we call in the business a controlled burn. We're just gonna burn enough that we accomplish what we're going to do, and everything else is going to be untouched.
Mom, I don't think we need to burn the house down.
We're not burning the house down. That's what I'm saying. Controlled burn, make sure it's only what needs to be burned.
That's very true, though I do also have another thought. Dale, if you go into the planter portion, grab some of the metal grow stakes, and if you're able to, use the butane torch to try and discolor the metal into a bluish hue. Maybe that might also work if we need to stab it.
So as you guys are like telling him all these items to go and pick up from the trailer, he starts writing them down. He's starting to sweat. He looks pale. He stops writing after a while, and you just see his hands clench and his eyes close. And he's like, "Enough! Stop! I'm no! I'm not your gopher. I'm was trying to. I have been trying to ask you out on a date for years, and all you do is tell me what to do, where to go, how to speak, what coffee you like, what to go get, and I'm tired of it. I'm done. I'm just a guy who's I thought was in love with a girl, but clearly you're more impressed with dead people.
And she grabs him and she kisses him.
Oh, that's dirty, Daphne.
Oh my.
Poor dear. Oh dear.
I would like to roll to manipulate someone.
Yes, go for it.
Oh, that's a 4.
Oh, buddy.
I'll mark luck on this one. I do have a special here. When I spend luck, I will see something I was not supposed to see. It can help me with the current mystery, or it might just scare me.
As Daphne is putting a... how shall we describe this kiss? I mean, I'm sure lip to lip, but I mean, like, is it the...
If you've ever been to, like, a high school play where it's like they have to do a stage kiss, and it's like, it has to be, like, lips touch longer than, like, 3 seconds, but there's nothing really more than just, like, the actual just touching of lips.
It's like taking 2 Barbies and making them kiss, basically.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay. So his eyes are wide as you do this, and then you release and look into his eyes, and he just stares at you for a second.
You can ask me out when the murder mystery has been solved. Until then, we have work that we need to do.
I don't want to leave you here alone. It might go south real quick.
I'm not alone. I have my mother and I have my sister.
As he pulls the keys out of his pocket, his wallet falls out, and you see for a moment his ID is exposed. And there's a little something you've never known about your buddy. He's always been in your classes. His last name is hyphenated, and his last name that you've known for the longest time of Jones is actually hyphenated to Jones Paulsbon.
Jones Paulsbon?
The mayor's last name.
Dale?
Yeah?
You never told me that you were related to the mayor. You
yeah,
think that something interesting like that might have come up while we were talking about the fact that he may have committed, anywhere between 12 to 37 murders?
I mean, he is my uncle, and I've been living with him most of my life, and he's even picked me up from school on several occasions, but...
Okay, see, when you said your uncle, I thought you meant the uncle that was the lawyer, not the uncle that was the mayor. Okay, call him.
Why?
To let him know that someone crashed a news van into the building?
I mean, he probably already knows.
Okay.
If he's in there.
Well, then to make sure he's alive.
Yeah, I'll get on that. Hang on. He retrieves his wallet and he pulls his cell phone out. Give me a minute. He walks over to the car that he quote unquote borrowed and begins to talk into it.
Mom, any luck getting Grandpa Archie?
The phone rings, and after about 2 rings, you hear, "Hello. Welcome to Archie's phone." He is not available right now due to fire! Fire everywhere! Oh God! Are they turning into So please leave a message at the end of this message.
Oh my God! Is our grandpa an SCP?
Essentially.
Sorry, sweetie. I do believe your grandfather is currently unavailable, so it's just us for this adventure. So...
All right, Moss, let's go.
Okay.
She starts walking towards the open space in the building or the door, whichever is more readily available.
Dale comes running up. Okay, all right. So I also looked in the trunk. My uncle says he's at his house. He's dealing with the police there and the cleanup, and that he'll be here as soon as possible. He's letting the sheriff know, all that good stuff. And I also saw in the trunk there are some flares, and there's a tank of gasoline, and a couple of tire irons. Does this help?
Mom, Dale, I think you two should take the tire irons.
This time Daphne kisses Dale and actually means it.
Oh, wow. Thanks?
She smacks him in the chest and says, "That's for showing some initiative."
Oh, okay. I mean, all those times that I got your favorite coffee without you asking and gave it to you when you needed it and was there with the camera every time you wanted to film something weird in the woods, that's cool. Okay!
I think Moss is going to be a little bit of a shit to their sister and just put a bit of dye on their hand, do a quick trot up behind Daphne, lift up the back of her hair and just smack a blue handprint against the back of her neck.
Ah!
That's cruel and you know it.
Listen, if we're stuck here in Missouri and we need to do worse than Dale.
Dale's not a bad guy, but
I said you can do worse than Dale.
I know, but I'm just saying don't mistreat him so much, okay? He really does mean well. Though I get if you don't actually want to date him. I can't blame you for your preferences.
We'll see how the rest of the night goes. We may not be alive in 20 to 30 minutes, so that might be the least of my worries.
Oh, what a way to go. Breaking into a building, dying.
He gave Mom a can of gasoline and some road flares, so I'm really concerned about how the rest of this evening is going to go. You just look over and Destiny is just cackling as she has the road flare gun and the can of gasoline in her hands.
Oh, I don't need a can of gasoline. I've got this. And then she just snaps her fingers and she's got a flaming trident in her hands.
Oh, wow. Where did you pull that out of?
Mom brought out the trident.
The what now?
That's for me to know and for you to never find out. Onward to battle, my children.
As you begin to walk through, you notice how eerily quiet it is. There's the darkening atmosphere as the sun goes down, and I think that Moss would probably be the first to hear the buzzing sound as the fluorescent lights begin to click on automatically.
Noisy. Maybe, no. I don't think they're blue enough. They're not LEDs. They're warm glow, which is nice, but not what we need.
Can I roll to read a bad situation?
Yes.
Alright, let's see. Ooh, that's a mixed success. That's a 9.
Why don't you read what a bad situation is for our audience?
So when I look around and I read a bad situation, I roll plus sharp. On a 10 plus, I hold 3, and on a 7 to 9, a mixed success, I get to hold 1. So I can spend a hold to ask any of the following questions. What's the best way in? What's the best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? And what's the best way to protect the victims?
All right, and what would you like to ask?
I would like to know if there are any dangers that we haven't noticed as we enter Town Hall.
It's been couple of minutes as you walked through. You did not inspect the body in the van very thoroughly.
Uh-oh. As I look around and it's eerily quiet, I have this awful feeling in the pit of my stomach, and wait a minute, there's no reason for the killer to be here because there's no victims here, there's no potential victims here, so if they lost control of the car, then they probably were stunned, and guys, Mom, Moss, Dale, I think we made a huge mistake. I think they're in the van.
It's in the van?
The big pile of flesh, it was there. It just hadn't sat up yet.
Oh dear. Everybody, back to the van. We need to make sure that it doesn't get its hands on Dale. After all, now that Dale's in on this. We can't exactly let him get eaten.
I mean, I've been here.
In on this, Mom. It was a kiss. I didn't, propose.
It all starts with a kiss.
Gross.
Your mom's weird.
Yeah, I know.
Enough about that. The body.
Moss is already kind of just booking it towards the hole in the wall, just getting out dyes. Moss's kind of genius, quote-unquote, plan is basically they're going to mark the van shut with blue.
All right.
They're hoping that maybe it will trap it inside if it is still inside the van when we get there.
So as you rush back to the van, and what are you marking it in blue with?
Sometimes Moss likes to use, those really cool dip pens, for marking in some of her books and journals. So it's basically a pot of ink, and she is opening it up and she is dipping her fingers into basically just this, rich blue ink.
An ink bottle, something that you can carry in the palm of your hand. How are you marking this van to be closed or sealed?
Basically with two of my fingers, index and middle, just dip into the bottle and smear along the outside of the doors and the windows. Basically just kind of trying to make like a net even across the hood of the car in case it tries to somehow slither out if it possibly could. Daisy's not taking any chances if it's able to mess with skin. So she's basically just smear connecting lines together wherever she reach, except for obviously the underside, which she's not really able to do that unless somehow Ringworm's able to and just kind of paint lines along with his tail.
As you begin to pour some of this ink onto your hands, it is a very vibrant blue, and you begin to mark different portions like the handles and the windows, and eventually you come to the driver's side door, which is slightly ajar, and as you begin to close it, you notice something brushes against your foot. And you look down and you see a red string going from inside to across your leg and up the wall. It's not just laying there or hanging there. It seems to be intentionally placed and it's kind of sticky to the touch. And you can see small branches of the same red string here and there as it begins to grow in size and spreading across the wall, going up to the second story. There seems to be a never-ending branching pathway of these red lines. As you reach down to touch it with your blue ink hand, you feel it tighten and begin to burst into flames as the body inside rises up and starts screaming and throws off its own skin and starts clawing at the glass and starts trying to break through. It is trying its best to escape out of the vehicle. It sees you and eventually tries to leap out of the closed window. It cracks the first time, it cracks the second time. What are you doing?
Well, first I think Moss is going to basically just kind of body slam against the door to kind of, make sure that it's firmly shut. And I think she's just going to take whatever is still remained on her hand of the blue and just smear it across the window that it's trying to burst through, in the hopes that if it does burst through and the blue glass gets stuck inside of it,
Hi, welcome to the Midroll. I'm your lovely editor Tensei, here to sell you stuff so that we can keep on making shows like this one. If you're enjoying Monster of the Week and want to play yourself, head on over to evilhat.com to pick up a copy of your very own. Use code BARDROCK10 to get 10% off not only Monster of the Week, but also things like Blades in the Dark, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, or the official Dresden Files TTRPG. Maybe you're looking for a different sort of grimdark. Some gritty mexploitation from a cast and crew that are not afraid to push our podcatcher's terms of service to their limits. Zero Angels, an adults-only actual play using the Girl Frame system, has a Session 0 available now. Godspeed, 92nd Cadre.
The year is 2235, and humanity is at war. The pilots of the Foundation are all we have left. And the Gorgons are coming. Meet the pilots of the 92nd Cadre, Artemis,
I'm not used to inspiring people.
Cass,
Yes, sir.
and Eurydice,
If you ever start being not full of life, come to me.
part of humanity's vanguard, led by their handlers Colonel Mira Voss
Things happen that are out of our control.
and Major Hannah Atali.
Cleaning up messes is what we're good at.
Together, they will face what's coming.
I don't understand.
I never like being alone.
It's all based in lies.
I don't have time for dogs.
You asked me who I was. Can you tell me who you are?
Or die.
Eurydice, take the shot.
You got it.
Zero Angels is a new actual play podcast by Bad Rep Productions using the Girl Frame system, coming to the Bard Rock Network July 2026. Follow us at zeroangels.bardrockcafe.com on Blue Sky, or visit zeroangels.com for more information.
So as you smear across, it does still slam against the glass. You see the cracks forming. What is everybody else doing in this moment?
I would once again like to roll to read a bad situation.
I mean, you can. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a mixed success, but I'd like to know what's the best way to protect the victims.
Who are the victims in this case? The body that's thrashing around currently, the people that are missing, or potentially your sibling?
My mother and my sister. My sibling.
What little you read about the Boo Hag, you picked up the book earlier and it was like an ABCs of weirdness. Is A is for Abaddon, B is for Boo Hag type of situation. So it doesn't give you a thorough explanation, but the pictures are really cool and gross. But you do know that Boo Hags, they do have an aversion to the color blue and sunlight. There's something about sunlight and skin. Unfortunately, the sun has gone down, and the only thing you have left is a flaming body inside this van trying to get to your sister. So more than likely, the fire seems to be causing it some issues. But I will say that with a mixed success, you realize that fire hurts pretty much everything, and also the wall is covered in fire now.
I'm just gonna grab Moss's hand and pull her away and just start running back towards the car that we have access to.
Going back outside the building?
Yes.
Meanwhile, Destiny would just be approaching. She's got her flaming trident out. It's like, I'm gonna stab you if you get out of here. And she's just holding up that trident. Come at me, I dare you.
Mom, come on! Come on!
I feel like admittedly Moss is trying to fight a little bit of just the blue's working though. It's working. We just have to get more blue.
The inside of this van is just a raging inferno. The heat is very intense. The body inside has been breaking at the window. It even breaks through. When it touches blue, you see a bright flash of bluish white flames erupt wherever it touches the exposed flesh. Eventually, the screams are so ear-piercing that it rivals the heat in intensity. Eventually, though, the body does reach out for you. Would you like to take a stab at it? Literally, Miss Destiny.
That is 8.
So it is hanging out of the window, reaching one of the arms, has almost become ash at this point as it's screaming and reaching for anybody it can come near. You raise your flaming trident and you stab it just under the jaw, and the top of the trident pops through the skull as the screaming stops and a new fire erupts out of the eyes and mouth. Eventually the whole thing begins to turn to ash. Dale looks over at you and goes, "Oh no. No, 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 no."
Oh, no, 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 no. What, Dale?
The van, it's gonna blow.
So we have an ash body on the monsters, or the killers burned to death on the ground. We have a flaming van and just us standing in City Hall.
Can Moss tell Daphne about seeing the string leading up to the second story of the town hall?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was trying to reach for something. Second story. It was just a string. It was trying to climb.
A string? Like a cat's cradle?
No, like a vein. I don't know. Yes and no. It was like a vein. It was trying to branch like a circulatory system. It was reaching up towards the second story. I don't know if it was just trying to escape somewhere before we burned it, or maybe it was trying to find something up there. I don't know.
Dale, pull out your phone and start recording. And I start running. I just run to the stairs to head up to the second floor.
Daphne, please be careful.
Come with me.
I'm coming. You're still holding me.
And of course I'm going to be not far behind because these are my children and I don't want them getting killed while I'm just puttering around, so making sure as their legal guardian, just don't die, kids, I'm coming kind of deal, so.
Alright, while you are telling your children to not, get harmed as they run into this flaming building, and you don't want to be seen as puttering around, Dale's actually going to grab a fire extinguisher off the wall and try to put out some of that fire.
Oh, that's a good plan.
As he works the extinguisher a little bit, he looks over at the body and checks it. It is hanging out of the side of the van. He touches it and it begins to slough away in sheets of dust and ash.
Dale, scream if it moves or anything, okay?
Yeah, I definitely will scream if it moves.
Thank you!
So are we going up to the second floor?
Just in case.
We're already there.
So you can see where there's still a little bit of fire on the very old carpet. This whole thing was supposed to be renovated. The outside was a good start, but they haven't done much since, probably the 1960s in here. So the carpet is a little pressed down as carpet gets thinner and thinner with use. It's very threadbare. In fact, the more you look around, the more you realize how threadbare this whole place is. And you can see the scorch marks leading to a room. There are some burn marks coming from the floor, rising like spikes on a voice recording. They are from whatever had ignited downstairs and have burned onto the doors that say mayor's office.
There's something weird going on here, Daphne. There has to be.
I pull out my phone, I press record, and I check to see if the doorknob is hot.
I won't make you roll for it. It's simple. You just go and tap the doorknob a little bit, and the brass doorknob is fairly cool to the touch. I mean, it's been a warm day, but it's not hot or anything.
Then I'm going to open the door.
As you open the door, you three are met with wall-to-wall gore. There are parts of bodies here and there. They're not just lying haphazardly. It's as if someone had used their bodies to unravel and knit and cover the entire place. It's kind of like how a tunnel spider would be, but using vascular system.
I'm thinking, is it almost kind of like Jeepers Creepers, or...
It's very similar, but the insides are mostly outside.
What does it say about me that this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life?
As you take in the sights, there's some scorch marks just under the door, but that's where it stops. Just not a whole lot of room for the oxygen to get to it before it starts getting to the viscera. You do see off to the side a little bit, there is a heart that at first you thought it may just be a trick of the light, but it is still beating. It's not taken out of anything. It's not been carved out and thrown haphazardly. It is still connected and still beating. And as this funnels in a corkscrew pattern towards the desk, you see a woman sitting there, and she is holding someone, as if in an embrace.
Hi, my name's Daphne VanHellmans. I am an amateur, independent journalist, and I'm here to interview the mayor of this town, which, based off of this office and the fact that you're sitting here, I'm assuming is you now.
Her eyes open and she looks up at you and smiles. The face is drawn tight. You can see as she is not a singular person, as her hair and parts of her flesh blend into the funneling, and throughout the whole room, you can see she is very much a piece of this whole.
Can you talk? What are you? Why are you doing this?
I'm just waiting.
For who?
Oh. She kind of pulls a little bit and you can see the mayor's body. He looks like he's just asleep, but he's very limp, unconscious. You stare at the body of the mayor, and you can see as his eyelids are moving. You can see as he's breathing very slowly, very deeply, as if he is in slumber himself. You can also see as a wisp, the slightest tangible wisp of gossamer thread comes from his lips and is drawn to her mouth. As she inhales through her mouth a little bit, you see as he begins to pale a little bit. I'm waiting for you.
Can I roll to read a bad situation?
Seems to be a lot of that going on in this game.
It's a pretty bad, we're in a pretty bad situation. Well, see, the one time we didn't roll to read a bad situation, Dale had to put the fire out for us, so.
This situation? Pretty bad.
That's an 8? Yeah, the obvious question here I wanted to ask is, how can I protect the victims?
So she has her arms around the body of the mayor, whose head is just lolling back. He is completely unconscious. Are you behind your daughters? You said you were following
yeah,
them.
so I'm, they're probably just one off to the left, one off to the right, and then Destiny's in the middle of between them, so, and she's got the flaming trident, speared between them. The two of them probably feel the heat coming off of the flaming trident, but it's obviously she doesn't have any intention of harming her own kids, so this trident that's pointed at this grotesque creature in the middle of this room, it's get anywhere near my kids and I will stab, kind of thing, so yeah.
Yeah, you know, just from your brief encounter downstairs that whoever she is, whatever was downstairs seems to have been controlled by her, almost like a marionette, and it was very flammable. I will say that you do also notice as Dale comes running up behind.
Is Dale also connected to a marionette string by any chance?
You don't see anything connected to Dale.
I look back at Dale as he's coming up, and I see his uncle, the only person who's been there to take care of him, even though I thought it was the other uncle, and I'm stupid, and I feel like a bad friend, and I feel like a bad person. And in this moment, I feel like I need to do something different. So I'd like to roll to protect someone and try to protect the mayor.
Okay, go for it.
With my -1, we'll see how this goes. It's probably not going to go well. Oh, it's an 8. It's a mixed success.
Nice. So how would you like to protect the mayor?
So knowing that sunlight is one of the things that bothers these creatures, I turned my video off on my camera, and I would like to make the flash as bright as humanly possible to go off in a burst, so it's almost like a strobe light to try to either disorient or daze her. Basically, I want to make a clear path to the heart, so I can either parlay or threaten her with some form of damage myself. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know that stood out in the room as the most vulnerable place.
I'd toss you my flaming trident, but I'm pretty sure because it's demonic, it would just burn you, so.
Or you know what, let's just stick with disorienting her until I can, just try to disorient her with like a strobe burst.
While Daphne's doing the distraction, trying to get to the heart, can Moss help her sister by also, just trying to bolt towards the heart? Because in her mind, she wants to grip it with her blue ink-stained hand.
Yeah. All right. And Destiny, are you just basically holding your action to stab anything that might harm them?
Would it be possible for me to change my trident color to basically any color that is a viable color that flames normally burn at?
Yeah.
Blue is an option, so just turn blue on her.
Okay, so you have made a pact with someone, correct?
Yes. After my husband Dante died, I made a deal with a devil in order to attempt to get his soul back, not knowing that he was already basically brought back to life. And in doing so, I agreed to hop essential oils and try to get bad people to make deals with the devil. In this case, selling essential oils. But yeah, in doing so, I received the flaming trident that is currently in my hands. So, had at it.
What I will say is that your normal physicality is capable of holding on to a flaming trident. But flames, they burn at a certain temperature, and they must be much hotter to burn blue. So if you're willing, I would say you take a damage by turning it blue, intensifying the heat.
I guess I can do that. Anything to protect my dear children.
So as your mother gets this look of determination and almost an enraged snarl comes across her face, you see as she grips the trident tighter in a threatening pose, and from the very base of the trident, it begins to burn with a hotter intensity. You can feel sweat beginning to form on you again as the flames turn blue and expand outward a little bit.
Damn.
Now that so the blue flame is burning hot, I am stupid and think that it's my cell phone distracting the monster when really it's my mother standing behind me.
You're walking forward, flashing?
Yes, and I'm going to try to reach out and grab the mayor's hand.
Okay, so it is across the room, so it's a little bit of a walk. As you are flashing your phone at its highest intensity, we'll say, you have your mother behind you with a blue flame. You have your sister Moss starting to bolt forward, her hands out in front of her. as you see the hag in her stretched, almost silly putty type of face. She holds her hand up a little bit in front of her eyes and she squints a little bit. She kind of smiles and says, "Close the door for me, sweetie." As you can hear the door being closed behind.
I turn around and I look to see who closed the door.
You don't see Dale.
Well, we're definitely not going to work out now, are we?
Promise that you won't hurt her.
Dale, who is she?
We made a deal. Just promise. That was the deal.
Who promised what, Dale?
You hear a thump on the floor as the mayor is just dropped. And rising out of the seat and beginning to rise towards the ceiling, held on these strings and pulsing pieces of flesh. You see as she spreads her hands open and goes, "Dale, he came to me and asked that I help him with you, my dear. He really loves you. And I told him, give me bodies. Give me all the bodies. And all the people that have been helping this," and she gestures down at the mayor, "we'll say person to be polite, get elected over and over and over again despite his ineptitude and his double-dealing. They were my flesh, they were my blood, they were what fueled me, and I haven't feasted like this in so many years. But that's okay. He brought me 2 others. And then you, Daphne. He really loves you. And I'm going to make sure that you and he are going to be together."
I'm going to roll to investigate a mystery real quick.
Sure.
Ooh, it's a 9.
Woo!
So, when I roll to investigate a mystery, when I'm questioning someone, I have an additional set of questions that I can ask. For example, like, who has something to gain for this situation? What are you plotting? And are you lying to me? You know what? In this situation, I actually just want to know what can hurt it. Because I know it's an election year. Whoever this is and was is upset at the mayor. My best friend made a deal with the literal devil. And I'm about ready to burn it all to the ground. It's in my nature. So what can hurt it?
In that moment of clarity, you realize that the VanHellmans, they were always said to be not the most law-abiding. There's been so many investigations into arson and murder that have just been mysteriously dropped. There have been situations where whole towns have disappeared, and the only people that have been able to report it are the VanHellmans. You feel your blood stirring in your veins, the rage, the screaming river behind your eyes begins to calm down, and you realize that your sister is covered in blue ink. Your mother has a flaming trident, and you don't know exactly what this mayor has done. You don't know exactly what this creature is before you. But you do know that you are probably the only person that's going to walk out of here, maybe, if you don't do something about it right now.
I would like to take the flare gun and roll to kick some ass.
Go for it.
I'm going to mark a luck on that 3.
Oh, jeez.
Because otherwise,
Oh, dear.
I stop and I close my eyes and I think about what could happen if I miss this shot. And in my mind's eye, I see it ricochet out the window. I see it land sputtering in a heap at her feet. And I realize that there's only really one way to do this correctly. And I run up as close as I possibly can and just press it right up against her and pull the trigger.
All right, so I need all of you to roll kick some ass.
I'm marking yet another luck, because I don't want to use this 5 that I rolled.
Oh my goodness. The first
Where-
adventure, and we've already marked, what, 3 lucks? 4 lucks now?
But I get stronger the more I mark luck because it's going toward my plus doom counter, and I've got moves that use this plus doom stat, so...
I'm gonna put a luck down. Because, yeah.
Everybody's just...
So what is your ass-kickery in the form of? What are you going to do?
Right now, Moss's game plan is still... I am covered in blue ink. I'm either going to grab that heart with my inky hands, or I'm going to take the knife, the Bolin knife, that is, I believe it said that it's made out of silver, so I don't know if that might make a difference in any of the pain levels towards this boo. If just simply grabbing that heart doesn't work, then she's simply going to just slice open that heart and literally just dump the bottle of ink inside of it.
Okay. So, how about you, Destiny? What is your attack move? How are you going to kick some ass?
In the moment, Destiny is basically just doing a bit of acrobatics with the flaming trident, just sort of spinning it around, just being as flashy as possible, and then just going and jabbing it at this main body of this monster that's menacing the mayor.
You rush forward. Jim, what is the best outcome that you can think of through your actions?
I push the flare gun at her and fire it from close blank range, and something wet or sinewy on her just immediately catches up. Like it as the flare embeds in her chest and starts to spray hot red fire out, everything that's attached to her just starts going up.
So as you rush forward, I want each of you to roll a 6 for me real quick.
That's a 4.
4 as well.
5.
Those of you who got a 4, as you rush forward and you're about to assault this entity, this creature, this horror before you, the skin on her is just dripping down almost like melting wax. You can see that tendrils of flesh, almost vascular and vein-like, pulsates and flashes out towards you, misses grabbing hold of you. So as Daphne reaches forward and plunges the tip of the flare gun into the chest of this creature, fires off, there's a bit of a recoil and a burst of flames as it hits the sternum, and you would think that it would either break the sternum or it would bounce your hand away from the chest once it's fired. Flare guns are fairly strong, but what it does instead is it completely punches through to the other side as this flare exits the back of this creature. She screeches and the flare itself embeds itself into the wall, into the fleshy part behind. And as that begins to go up, you can see as flames are inside of this hole, and she looks down at you just completely incredulous that you had the gall to rush up and do this at point blank. Destiny, you see as you begin spinning around, almost as if you've practiced the move several times, you whip it in an arc around you and you cleave off a few of the outstretched hands that have grown from the walls. You begin to cut away, and everywhere your trident touches, flames begin to erupt off of everything. The blue of the flames is not dissipating when it hits something and lights it. It doesn't turn into yellow or orange flame as you would expect, but it continues to be blue and begins lighting everywhere. And Moss, as you reach down and grab the heart closest to you, in both hands, you almost pull it from the floor as you hear two voices scream, one coming from the main creature, the other from another face that's buried somewhere in all the flesh against the wall on the other side, as you see a slowness of time, and you see all the vital points. It begins to burst into flames. Take 2 damage from the fire.
Since I have the other charm bracelet, I had given one to Daphne that morning, and I had made one for myself. It says to give them +1 armor, max 2 armor. Does that still mean that I would take the 2 damage, or would that go down to a 1?
Okay, so it would just be 1.
Daphne just yells at her, "No one gets involved in my love life!"
She begins to scream, and you can see as the pulsing flesh has snaked across the doors, holding it shut. You can hear as the shouting on the other side of the door and banging of somebody trying to get in. I am going to say that the monster is not dead, but she is going to attack. Daphne, you can feel as a tendril of flesh hardens and slams into your leg just above the knee, giving you 2 points damage.
Ah!
Destiny, you can feel as teeth clamp around your calf as a head has stretched from the floor. You also take 2 points of damage from the bites.
And I don't have any armor, so that's fun.
And Moss, the flames begin to grow around you. You need to move or you're going to catch on fire yourself.
I am going to release my grip on the heart and back away from the flames. Moss is going to take a new approach with the ink and literally just splatter it everywhere.
In that case, I would like to roll to read a bad situation, everyone's favorite maneuver.
Seems to be.
Daphne just enjoys reading bad situations. It's her thing.
On a mixed success, I want to know what the best way out is.
Best way out? As I said before, there is a window right behind you. Or actually, it'd be right in front of you.
I've always kind of wanted to do this. I'm going to jump out the window.
So with these flames all around you, the screaming of several voices rising as one, Destiny, Moss, and Daphne, do you all try to get through the window?
Part of me wants to say yes, part of me wants to continue splattering ink around just to make sure that burn, baby, burn.
Yeah, you said earlier that you were going to be just whipping that ink around. You can absolutely do that. I don't mind. It's almost a napalm-y type of situation on a small level, but everything catches very well.
Yeah, I feel like I would try to carve a path with my flaming blue trident and to just make sure I get to the window without taking any further damage and just defenestrate myself.
Alright, so are all 3 of you jumping through the window?
Moss will jump out the window right after just gushing the last bit of ink just right across the main body.
Absolutely. Everywhere that ink touches, every flame that has been started with that trident, everything is just blue flames everywhere. The screaming, you can see as flesh melts from the walls. I don't think that the mayor is going to be too...
upset.
Alive.
By the end of this, as you all 3 rush to the window and throw yourselves towards it, it's actually not just a window, it is a door. As it breaks off the hinge a little bit through all 3 of you throwing yourself to it, you find yourself outside. The air is a little cooler than it was inside, considering all the fire. You do find yourself not falling. You are on a balcony, usually where the mayor gives his speeches from, that type of situation. The whole place is starting to erupt in flames. The flames that are building on the outside, they are yellow and orange as it is glaringly bright. You do hear in the background, above the roaring of this fire, some sirens, and you do see a familiar red and blue flashing pattern. Funny thing is, every time that blue light flashes around, anything that is creeping out towards you shrinks back and smoldering.
We're up against a rock in a hard place. They're gonna blame us, aren't they?
I think that's kind of the least of our concerns right now, wouldn't you say?
We either burn and die, or we get thrown in jail for the rest of our lives.
I think I'd rather... I think I'd rather just go ahead with the, jumping off the roof part of my day and hope for the best, because quite frankly... And I just jump off the balcony.
Because quite frankly... Yeet.
Quite frankly, yeet. All right, so I would like anyone who's going to follow Daphne to roll a tough for me.
Moss is gonna follow after her sister.
Daphne, Daisy, what are you doing? Come back here! And she basically just, obviously, she doesn't want to be the last one left on the balcony there, so yeet.
All right.
5? Ow.
Yeah, I rolled a 6.
Okay. Nice. How about you, Destiny?
7!
Daphne and Moss, as you both leap off in the air, you realize this may not have been a good idea. And as you hit the ground, it's not exactly flat. It is actually at an incline. As you hit, bounce, and roll a little bit, I'd say take at least 1 damage, both of you.
We did throw ourselves.
In the arms of an angel.
It is bone jarring, and you're lucky you don't break anything from 10 to 12 feet in the air. But you're young, you're resilient.
I regret every decision I made today. Every single one of them.
You see as your mother, flaming trident in hand, leaps after you.
Perfect blade pose.
Actually does the superhero pose when landing, and you hear a
oh, geez.
as you realize your knees are not meant for that. But I won't make you take a harm.
It's okay.
That was cool, Mom.
Ah,
That was really cool, Mom.
thanks.
You might want to get rid of the trident now.
The fire department, the police, EMTs, and a lot of people are starting to gather around. The sky is brilliantly hued in orange as the light reflects off of the black smoke. There's still screaming coming from inside. And you see as one of the doors to the lobby area bursts open and smoke is wrapped around this figure as it rushes out and falls and rolls down the stairs to your feet. It is Dale.
Can Moss punch Dale?
Sure.
What's that gonna be? Kick some ass?
Yeah. With advantage, because he is prone at your feet.
Moss is pissed. Like, royally pissed. Yeah! 10. Take that 10 to the face with a fucking stomper boots.
So you see as he rolls to your feet, he's like, oh. As he starts to get up, you're very placid, very neutral, very, very calm, demeanored sister. Just gets this look in her eye, her eyes grow wide, and you see that knee fly up in the air, and next thing you know, there's a spray of blood and teeth going across the ground as Dale's head hits the back of the concrete, and he is out. And a little toothless in the front.
You tried to fucking kill us. You tried to fuck over my sister!
To be fair to him, he actually just tried to fuck your sister, not fuck over your sister.
He just needs a little bit of lemongrass oil and it'll heal right up.
Oh yes, the flammable substance is definitely what he needs right now. This is not sarcastic, this is Moss being literal. This is Moss saying, don't let it near me, I will set his ass on fire. I am not in the mood.
You can see as his wallet has kind of fallen out a little bit again, and if anybody wants to investigate it.
Moss is gonna investigate the wallet. I mean, She's right there.
He is unconscious. He's not going to stop you. You can pick up his wallet and rifle through it as much as possible.
Not so subtly take any of the cash that's in it.
Hey, there's 50 and about 3 20s and a few singles. You just pull those out. You fold them once, twice, pop it into your pocket.
Consider it a fee for dealing with this situation for him.
You now have $114.
This is going to fix our car. You prick.
I mean, do you blame him?
You also see there's a couple of credit cards in there.
I'll also snag the gift cards. Gift cards. Those can't be tracked.
But as you are looking through there, you do find there is a bit of hair that has been braided and waxed on both ends.
Oh.
And no, it's not red.
Is it Dale's hair color? Like, is it the mayor/uncle's hair color?
No, it's very gray. Very, very gray.
What is best to try to think about ooks and spooks? Investigate a mystery?
Yeah, you can investigate a mystery.
Oh, 13!
Nice.
Nice.
Nice!
As you hold this braid in your hand, you start to smell things. You can smell kind of a mold and a dampness to it, very earthy tones. You can also smell kind of a coppery smell to it at the same time. You look at the wax on both ends. It is blue. And as you hold it in your hands, it begins to smolder a little bit, and eventually it ignites.
And does that mean with it destroyed that either it is dead, or does that mean that it is free of the agreement with Dale?
I think with the 13, you figure that whatever happens to this probably happens to the hag as well. As the screaming stops, the sheriff walks up, and he just kind of looks between you three and the prone, unconscious and bloody face of Dale. And he looks back up at you and goes, I'm gonna need some witness statements.
Well, Sheriff, luckily for you, I recorded everything that happened in there.
Moss is going to point to Dale and just that's your suspect. I suggest putting in handcuffs before he wakes up.
Sheriff kind of looks at some of the video that you're showing, and he's like, oh, whoa. Ooh, that's gross.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Ooh. Alright, I kind of see what you're talking about. What do you mean don't hurt her? Oh, son.
Yeah, he's got it bad. I mean, it is kind of my fault.
Hey.
It's not your fault.
No, it is not your fault.
I led him on. I know it's not my fault. He made those choices himself. No,
Did you ever tell him that you were going to date him?
No.
Did you ever lead him on in a situation where you were going to get the better end of the deal?
Many.
All right, don't answer that one.
Okay.
Just understand that I've seen this before.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Back when I was...
The thing where the boy does a thing that is incredibly stupid to try to get the girl's attention and or affection, or the part with the woman made of skin from dead people. Mom, what does he mean when he says he's seen this? This is... this kind of thing doesn't happen.
He puts his hands on your shoulder.
Monsters aren't real.
And he looks you deep in the eyes and says, yeah. Now why don't you guys make a little road trip while I try to do some paperwork, get this all sorted out. It's gonna be hard to cover about a boo hag hunting, but maybe your family will have something to help with this.
In fact, I know exactly where we are headed. Family, we're headed back to the compound. Supernatural things
the what?
are coming for us. We will be safest if we go back to the family compound and reunite with your grandfather.
So let me get this straight, Mom. Just to be, I want to be crystal clear about everything that is going on here.
Yes?
You pulled me out of school under the guise of helping you sell essential oils, when in reality what we were doing is we were traveling town to town for you to hunt monsters. And you didn't tell us anything about this until we nearly got ourselves killed trying to investigate one on our very own, and then come to find out apparently they teach this at the police academy, and my mind is blown, and now we have to go to a compound? Like, not like Grandpa's house.
Daphne, I thought you kinda knew some of the spooky stuff was real. I mean, I did.
Moss, I've been up front this whole time. All of this stuff can be accounted for. People are to blame for all of these problems, not... She just, like, sits and slumps onto the ground and just, like, stares straight ahead. Like, this just feels completely foreign and strange and weird and terrifying in a way that real people murdering other people is not terrifying.
Moss is gonna sit on the ground with Daphne and just kinda tug her head over to lean against Moss's shoulder and just we can probably work this through in the car, but we've gotta go.
Do you have a podcast you can recommend?
I've got a few books. I've got Ringworm.
So as you take a very confused and upset Daphne, you get a ride from one of the deputies. The flames are still rising higher and higher because boohags are very flammable. The mayor is dead. Several of the town's residents are dead, but the boohag itself has been stopped. And now you have free reign to go to the compound and see what's going on there. And that's where we're going to stop this edition of Monster Cafe.
Monster Cafe is a Bard Rock Network production. The Keeper was Justin. Daisy Moss was played by Rainey. Daphne was played by Jim. And Destiny was played by Ryan. All their socials? You can find them in the show notes. Music, courtesy of Epidemic Sounds and Storybox. Thank you so much! And if you want to talk with fans of the show, well, you can hop on into our Discord server linked in the show notes. Now then, until next time.
As the sheriff picks up the phone, makes a call, and after a few seconds he says, "Yep, yeah, they're on their way. No, I don't like it either, but considering what happened in Seattle, yeah, I didn't figure there was much of a choice. Yeah, I know, they gotta find him first, but, that's half the fun, I guess. All right, catch you later." Hangs up.